Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about China and parity and a report that came out, and I guess Gen Z, because that's where these questions came from. So, if you missed the news, and if you're older, you probably skimmed right past it, a report came out, put out by the Pentagon, and it's probably called something like China's military power or something like that. It's a report that comes out every year. But this year, there was an interesting note that could be used to generate headlines because China broke a record. They now have more than 500 nuclear warheads. This apparently sent Gen Z into a full blown anxiety attack. And a whole bunch of questions came in. Is it going to trigger an arms race? Is one. Will the United States be able to keep up? Is another. It's all stuff like this. It will not trigger an arms race. The United States, as far as the U.S. being able to keep up. Let's do it this way. Take the 500 that they now have. Double it. Gives you 1,000. Double it again. Gives you 2,000. Double it again. Gives you 4,000. At that point, China almost has 80% of what the United States has. The United States has 5,244 ish nuclear warheads. There's if there's going to be an arms race, we already won. The amount of nuclear weapons production that occurred during the Cold War is just, it's mind-boggling. And they've been there your whole life. So it's not really something to have too much anxiety about. And especially with the nature of warfare today and how countries have much better communication than they used to and all of that stuff, you don't need to worry about the country or entity or person that wants 1,000 nuclear warheads. You need to worry about the country or entity or person that wants one. This isn't good. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. This isn't good, but it's also not something to. It's not something that should keep you up at night. It's they will seek parity, and what's eventually going to happen is they will start building, and they'll build more and more, and eventually something will happen, and there will be tensions. Maybe they put one outside of their own country. Or maybe they have a sub that they lose. Or maybe it comes too close to the U.S., something like this. And there will be tensions. And those tensions will scare them. The United States already has this in its institutional memory. Hopefully, it won't be as bad as the Cuban Missile Crisis. But once that occurs, then there will be talks about strategic stability or something along those lines. And whatever the modern equivalent of the red phone is, those will be put in. Those kinds of lines of communication, they already exist between the United States and China. They're just not super official, and they're probably not high enough. They're probably not at a high enough level as they should be. But that will change. The risk today is the same as it was yesterday. It isn't good. We should have less nuclear warheads in the world. But that's not likely right now. We are in a near peer contest. So there will be a lot more reports about Chinese military power growing. It isn't something to let to get you too worried. Anytime major powers start beefing up their military, it's unnerving. But the purpose of a military today, when you were talking about a major power like China, it's not actually about using it. It's about deterrence. And that is especially true when it comes to strategic arms, when it comes to nuclear weapons. That's nobody actually wants to destroy the world. So, I mean, the reports there, 500, yes. I mean, that is more than they have ever had before. And they definitely, they did a lot of that quickly. I want to say they built like 90 of them in the last year or so. But it's not something that should keep you up at night. It's the United States is not going to get into an arms race. They're trying to keep up with us, not the other way. It would be fantastic if we could get nuclear powers to start sending those numbers the other direction and reducing them. We have way more than is necessary to. We have more than is necessary for a deterrent. And we can just leave it at that. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.